really well despite that.
We'll have to see if it's going to make an appearance at all in this series. It looks like we got a draft for game number 2. So let's get into it here. It looks like for Fnatic, they will take first pick. They've already banned out that Alliance Wisp and get rid of the Ogre McGee. For Alliance, get rid of the Bounty Hunter because they're tired of that. And the Shadow Demon, respect to DJ as they take that one out too.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they just banned Bounty Hunter because S4 got his boots and bottle killed, and that was like we didn't actually talk about that, but in the first game he was so far behind in his lane.
Yeah.
He had like 14 CS, and I think mid one had like 35 or something like that.
But even before he lost the bottle, he already was like 10 CS behind. Even though he had a draw aura, that was like really surprising to me.
Yeah, it's very true.
5 seconds.
But this time it's going to be Fnatic who get a hold of Lady Mirana in this one. So when you're talking about S4 and his performance, and yeah, he obviously got handicapped quite a bit by the Bounty Hunter. Well, we'd like to see S4 also go back to something that, you know, we're used to seeing from, I don't know, that necessarily means like Puck, Magnus, those kind of staples, but we already knew that Potom wasn't something he's very comfortable with, or at least uses very, very often.
You know, I was thinking about this, and we had a discussion about Secret and how we feel like as a team they're just a little bit too greedy. I think when you're looking at Alliance, you need S4 on a tempo controlling hero at the very least, because everyone else on that team wants to hit creeps too. So if you're putting your one-shot caller on another hero who also wants to hit creeps, even if it's something that's like a hybrid like Mirana, I just feel like it's not so good for them.
Yeah, I just want to see him play Puck, DK, Magnus, heroes like that. Why would you put him on a Potom? Yeah.
The standards.
I mean, that's how Alliance always played and always performed really well. When he is actually on that hero, just moves around, you put a support middle, most likely EGM, who really likes to farm as a support. And you put him middle and then just have S4 creating space all over the place.
Yeah, I agree with both of them. That's by far their best system. S4 on a tempo controller, and they have one greedy support, and he's just moving around dictating the pace of the game. When he's not doing that, it feels like something is lost in their system. Something is not right.
Well, you can't ask for a more Alliance draft than opening up with a Nature's Prophet there for Mr. Bulldog. They quickly followed up with a Rubik, which EGM has made plenty of waves with that hero. So far things looking pretty sharp here for Alliance if they're going for that, well, Alliance kind of a draft.
I mean, Fnatic responded with a Batrider, which is one of the best hunters for the Nature's Prophet. So they have that going for them. And if Batrider gets a good start, I can imagine Prophet having a nightmare game against a Bat constantly hunting him down with Boost of Travel, Blink, 4-star heals.
Do you actually prefer Batrider over Beast to counter Prophet?
Yeah, I prefer that. I think as a Prophet, it's much more difficult to play against Batrider because he can hide in different places with Firefly, so it's much difficult to anticipate the gank coming from Batrider.
And it is Ohio after all, and he's the second best Nature's Prophet in the game, so he will be able to keep tabs, but it's Bulldog who's #1 Nature's Prophet. I always love when these two teams go toe-to-toe and a Nature's Prophet happens to pop up for one team or the other.
Ohio just say, like in an interview, one time he literally just watched Admiral Bulldog's replays, that's all he did.
He's the #2, and he just obsesses over Bulldog, the #1.
Kezu said the same thing when he was learning Nature's Prophet. He was like, let's watch some Bulldog replays, guys.
The guy is a fiend. He's a beast on the hero. I mean, that's how he got brought into the team, was just pubbing Lone Druid and then bringing in a lot of that Nature's Prophet play. But his hero pool, it's expanded. He's thrown in some new options, but these are just the things that always seem to work.
What I also really like is the Slaughter ban, because usually when Alliance picks that Nature's Prophet, he kind of transitions into like the traditional carry, and Loda would be more on like on a Centaur, on a Slaughter. Obviously Slaughter is the better choice because you can actually amp people, then you have like a lot of damage. When you pick Centaur, you would probably lack damage. We have seen the same thing at Manila when people actually would ban out Loda Slaughter. When they picked Nature's Prophet, they would have a really hard time finding their damage source. So I really like that ban.
Alliance had also got rid of the TA there, and I believe Fnatic.
Puck? I think they might want Puck though because they banned TA, because that's a very bad matchup for Puck.
Yeah. Or maybe even a DK.
The Dream Carl alive?
I think he remembers that, Dakota.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, he needs to in this moment. Right now.
Of all moments, this is when you need to remember
Enchantress.
it. Another traditional pick, Ake's Enchantress.
This is like
coming
pure
out.
comfort zone for Alliance.
Yeah, early pressure.
They're going all comfort.
A lot of early pressure as well, and you can easily do like the Enchantress plus Prophet, pressuring the safe lane, and if you get a good gank in the early game, you can easily take the tower, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on their safe lane. So it's going to disallow Fnatic to play their early aggressive rotations, because if your safe lane is under so much siege, you have to address it and you can't pressure the other lanes.
But we've seen in the past Fnatic just like safe laning the Mirana, And if they do that and pick like another mobile mid hero, I actually think the Enchantress is going to have a lot of problems ganking this game.
That's with like Shadow Demon, right? When they did that.
Yeah, they would usually like dual lane safe lane with like 2 range heroes. I mean, Witchstock is pretty strong with the Mirana too, and obviously against Enchantress really strong too.
Alliance go for the Lifestealer here. I was kind of on board with like Black saying like the Slark, then we could have possibly seen the S4 Magnus to pair with it or something, but they're going to go with the Lifestealer. Makes it much more likely that this puck is coming though, because there's not a really good vehicle out there for him yet.
Yeah, it's true.
Storm.
But it's also a denial pick, I think, away from Fnatic, because I mean they already have Batrider, and Lifestealer also is really good against Enchantress and Rubik. And I guess Nature's Prophet as well, yeah. He pretty much is good against their entire roster, so it makes a lot of sense as to why they would want to take it here.
Denial pick of the Lifestealer. What is Fnatic looking here for?
Who can man fight into that ugly beast?
Well, there's a Slark is really good against all the heroes so far.
Ursa's good too.
Ursa's really good.
Oh yeah, Ursa, I actually like Ursa more.
Ursa Batrider together, we spoke about it. You drag him in and you just beat him up, and he dies.
Yeah, Ursa actually crushes all of their heroes.
Yeah. Hard counter to enter, the hardest counter ever.
Yeah. And it also gives them like 1 hero Roche potential. You don't even have to worry about it anymore. You just pick the hero and it's just taken care of.
To have really good lanes with Witch Doctor, you can deal with the creeps of the Enchantress, but they do go
Carry
for the
Void.
Carry Void, you think?
Oh wait, we have seen them play mid Batrider before. It could still be an offlane Void if they wanna do that.
Offlane Void, then it's like either support Mirana or carry Mirana.
Yeah, I think usually when I pick Mirana, it's like carry Mirana, and then they have a mid one on a more like hard carry hero, like an Ember Spirit.
What would you prefer? Wouldn't you prefer like just mid Mirana and then safe lane Void, offlane Bat?
I think that would be really good because it makes all the lanes incredibly hard to gank for the Enchantress. Like she won't find easy kills for sure.
It's also good because they still have some synergy inside of the Chrono. So even if you put the Void safe lane, he's not known for a damage dealing kind of safe laner, but it's still you have Witch Doctor Ward and Mirana, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Going to the final bans now here. Alliance get rid of the Elder Titan. We go back to Fnatic's side. This could be the S4 hero. We anticipate Storm, maybe Puck, as plausible options here.
DK is possible too. Like they like to run that in the past. It's probably not the best hero here, but you know if you want some additional lockdown, they only have the Rubik lift so far, and DK is always a good option. And what really surprises me about those two teams, Elder Titan always gets like until like to the last banning phase.
What's happening today?
That never happened before.
It was like all day yesterday. It was either banned or first two, right?
Yeah. One game it was picked up in the second pick phase, but other than that, it was always banned or picked first phase.
I think the stronger teams just able to use the hero better than other teams. Especially like I think DC is one of the best teams with the hero. Even Wings, they know how to use the hero. They know how to build a lineup around the hero. I think that's the more crucial part of picking. When you pick Elder Titan, it's not just about Elder Titan. You want to build a good lineup around physical damage, spell damage, and sometimes teams that actually run Elder Titan, they don't do that.
So they do run the position for Mirana. They're gonna play like he's gonna get boots first, and he's just gonna chase the Enchantress around, make sure that she doesn't get good ganks off, and just kill her creeps with the arrows.
Yeah.
And then it's probably gonna be Timbersaw mid.
Yeah, most likely.
I reckon.
Timbersaw mid.
A Batrider offlane on a high.
I don't see any other hero. Yeah, for Alliance, there's no other hero like.
Yeah, it's the S4 Puck.
Looking good for them. I mean, that's
Good enough.
completely, that's like complete comfort zone for Alliance. Like it doesn't get better than that for them.
So no excuses if they lose this.
Nah, but I don't think it's good enough this game. I think their last draft was better, and this game with a worse draft, I think Fnatic is gonna be able to take the game.
Will you agree?
I would agree. Yeah, Fnatic for sure.
Fnatic for sure. Will it be a 2-0 shutout to start day number 3? We'll find out. Let's throw it over to our casters now. It's Toby1 and Merlini.
Well, the analysts lean the way of Fnatic, saying their draft is better, but at the same time, if you're an Alliance fan, you're probably feeling very comfortable because Alliance is feeling very comfortable. This is through and through an Alliance draft.
If I saw the drafts with other teams, I would think that the Nature's Prophet draft is a little bit weaker, but because it's Alliance, because it's something that they can play very, very well, I'm going to go within this draft.
It's something too, which I know it's kind of always been brought up in previous tournaments. As long as you feel comfortable, if you like, don't go out of the box, just play to your own strengths. Play to something which you know you can execute and execute well. Get your timings right with it. Alliance have done this time and time again with this exact draft. So they will probably feel very nice about this, but as the panel was saying, there's a lot of perks to this Fnatic draft.
I'm running through my predictions real quick, Toby. You go on. I need my compendium levels.
You were so cheap. Okay, all Ohio. He went sticky napalm. He can't actually firefly himself away from this one. As Ohio, the orb's going to come in as well. Ohio can't get out. Alliance, EGM is going to body block him. Ohio goes down in the top river. A very early level up in sticky napalm. No firefly. He didn't hold the point, and he pays the price.
Yeah, normally you'll see them hold on, but yeah, it's actually not that big a deal. I think the death isn't, but more so they have really deep observer wards.
Yeah, they're watching the stacks, they're watching the movement to the top lane. It does help the fact that S4 was the one to get the first blood. Now he can get the top rune as well.
That's why he went with the body block.
Yep.
He could have just right-clicked him down, but they wanted S4 to have a good game. Like with Puck nowadays, it often feels the same way as Queen of Pain. Yeah, you're going to have a great early game, and you're going to be involved in a lot of kills, and then it's like that one fight that you die, and after that you're like, okay, I can't do anything else. And he's picked sometimes, but just has not had that much success. This time, though, he has a Life Stealer and the Nature's Prophet to always constantly fight with the Puck. So I kind of like it this game. I think it's really good versus the Basis Void, and like the instant silence, also very good at killing Mirana, Timbersaw. Very hard for the Batrider to catch.
Now, this is a nightmare to really stop Bulldog on the off lane. When you send the 4 treants down, you know you're going to get a guaranteed pull. The fact they didn't do enough damage this last treant means he can use the 4th one to block the camp. So Admiral Bulldog doesn't even need an Observer Ward in the bottom lane. That allows Alliance to commit both their Observer Wards to the northern half of the map.
And Mushi's trying his best to drag the creep wave around to an appropriate spot. And it looks like, yeah, he will be able to keep the wave close to his side, although Bulldog will get a free level 2.
At top lane, Ohio, at least he can have something against Loda, but they can both buy up sticks in just a bit. So Ohio with the sticky napalm harassment's not going to do that much. And because you've got the Observe Ward over on the small stack, like, it's not even that easy just to grab it. Like S4 could move up for a rune and you could put that Batrider in a lot of peril. Admiral Bulldog always can TP off that bottom lane, actually holding his skill point at the moment. So hasn't decided if he needs Sprout or a TP.
He has TP now. No clarities though. Don't we usually see clarities instead of branch?
Yeah, normally you have a couple of clarities just so you have the ability to summon more treants, but at this point, I'm wondering what he's thinking.
He won't be able to jungle. Fnatic have placed a
trouble. Batrider, you do not have Firefly again, and that's 3 stomps. Denying the Mud Golems gives another one. It's just never-ending stuns from RK. Ohio, there's another stun with a Fade Bolt. Enchantress will find the kill. Black was saying he was looking for the Mirana to rotate around and be a real nuisance for RK, but so far RK has had free reign of his jungle, and again they catch out this Batrider.
He just needs level 2, or just having Firefly, but now he's died twice because he hasn't had Firefly. RK's even stolen his large Centaur from that camp, so he can't really get an easy level 2 from there. And now you're going to go back to the jungle. But it's 2 minutes in, and you're still level 1.
He's going to leech it from mid. This is his only way to do it. He can leech it from mid. Now gets his level 2. There is a semi-stack. There's like Hellbears and the 2 small Wild Wings available. So we can farm this up, and that'll bring him up to close to level 3.
It's still a disaster, though. RK.
Mid lane, the smoke maneuver. The first stuns arrive. Another Mud Golem stun. S4 with the extra silence. Timbersaw dropping low, but he's still got 10 reactive armor charges up. So this dive from Alliance, it pushes the Timbersaw off the lane with no bottle charges.
Wow, he was really close to getting that kill. He tried to time the death of the Rock Golem to get an additional 2 stuns out on mid 1.
They're going again. There's no Timber Chain available, so the first stun into the clap with the Orb Bulldog. He TP's in. The courier is nearby as well. The damage from S4 is not enough. And now Ohio, he's sticking napalms. He's got his Firefly. He's looking towards S4. The arrow will fly. S4 waits it out perfectly for the paralyzing cuts for 3-4-3. He'll go down. RK's army still exists. They cannot have enough damage to find the kill. Even the Maledict on Admiral Bulldog, not enough tick damage there.
Okay, very well known for this Chen as well as Enchantress. Puts Alliance 4 kills up already. And he's not going to have that many smokes available to him, but he's already done the damage. Ohio is still reeling from this disastrous early game.
Hey, you called it perfectly. Dakota asks us the question at the end of game number 1, how do you want to see it change? Like, I was looking for a jungler, and you asked for someone who's got a little bit more activity early on, and the Enchantress is exactly that.
And heroes that they like. I can't particularly imagine Bulldog liking playing Tidehunter, but he does love that NP.
And now we have double phase boots. So phase boots for Loda, phase boots for Bulldog. They TP up to the top lane, and they're looking to force down the tier 1 tower. Knowing how much they've crippled the Batrider, there should be no defense to this. Ohio right now is just trying to take a triple stack inside of his own jungle. So an early free tower for Alliance.
And it looks like Mushi will be the one to come up here.
Pick up, open wounds. They're just chipping him a little bit, just so he can't time walk off the damage straight away.
He still has all his regen. He wasn't really pressured too much by Bulldog, so 2 sets of tangos, 1 healing cell, he'll be a-okay, and that's a good way to save your first tower and buy some more time for Ohio.
And they're really looking for even more, like, it's a triple phase boost now from Alliance. 1 is just not enough, 2 is not enough. RK will grab them. Is this kind of like what you're looking for from RK to get early phase boots instead of getting something more like the Arcanes?
I think that's their game plan. They want to fight a lot with the NP. Constantly look for opportunities.
Try and chase DJ down bottom lane. Admiral Bulldog will come in too. They're waiting for the leap, so then Bulldog can follow up with a scrap 3-4-3 on the other side of the tree line. Paralyzing cast. Maledict is over on Nature's Prophet. Ohio trying to close the distance, but RK still in the neighborhood. And Chant comes back off cooldown for him. So he could have had the slow if required.
Even with some lucky bounces, Fnatic cannot get on the board yet.
They still found a lot of CS. Faceless Void with 36 for 9. Timbersaw able to grab 31 CS early on. So on that front, Alliance aren't doing that terrific. They're ahead. They were ahead by 2K at one point. But the game is still fairly close.
I think Alliance can easily get out of control though. Puck's already level 6. NP, he can be anywhere, wherever Enchantress wants the NP to be. And on top of that, Enchantress has been very involved in all 4 kills, but he's already level 5 on the Ench. So he's not really suffering in terms of experience.
I am seeing the recovery of the Batrider. Like, Ohio is getting himself back into a position where he's got more net worth than the Nature's Prophet. He's definitely got more levels than the Nature's Prophet.
It was really important that Mushi TP'd up there to stop that push. Like, they have like okay pushing heroes with the NP, but he doesn't have a Basilius. Lifestealer not the best at hitting towers, especially without a Blightstone. So that tower should not have fallen. A lot of stacking going on the Fnatic side. Many heroes that can take it out. Mirana also getting decent amounts of farm and levels level 5 with Arcanes.
Well, we have an Infest combo for the first time. Loda straight into S4. Probably hoping the mid one's going to get aggressive. Mid one's been fairly aggressive against S4, actually forcing S4 to go back to base a couple of times. But now Dream Coil, they open up. Where's that silence? Where's that control? The Timber Chain didn't latch, and Prophet's also coming in. The Chakram damage and the chain away. It'll hurt S4 and Loda, but it hurts mid one more as he will fall. And Bulldog instantly TPs down the bottom lane. Doesn't want to give DJ any space to push the lane.
Did he have a TP scroll before? I wasn't really sure on the Timber.
Unknown. Mushi, jump, Chrono, 2-man available if he wanted it. But without 3-4-3's Death Ward, he knows he doesn't have the damage to kill off S4. Just can dissuade Alliance from again pushing a tier 1 tower.
Pray for some bashes. Oh, a lot of bashes.
Well, he's got the 2 points up in time lock at least. No Sentry Ward down for 3-4-3, so they'll get both the Obs and the Sentry that RK planted a couple of minutes ago.
DJ already level 6. See Rubik closing in on it as he farms the top lane, so all these supports are about to be able to fight back.
A nice Obs from Fnatic in the top river. Scanning out the fact that's almost a full duration ward as well in the top river. But I saw Loda moving up. Mid one's already there to defend. Mushi is able to move up as well.
Alliance are just trying to get a feel for how Fnatic's going to play. Are they going to try and use the Faceless Void like aggressively and set up? Or are they going to try and use it reactively to TP to towers? Are they going to be sitting behind people with a Mirana trying to arrow people? Or is she going to be trying to farm up the jungle with Arcanes? They're still not exactly sure how Fnatic are going to respond to these early threats. But now, see the large-scale engagement about to brew on top.
Here comes Alliance. Mid one defense, 3-4-3, still no level 6 on him. Alliance is waiting just long enough that Arcade does have his impetus, so the damage is there. Moonlight Shadow. Admiral Bulldog looks like he's the primary target on bottom lane. Ohio could just walk up to him and grab that lasso. And Bulldog, there's not a lot he can do about it. He is a little bit tanky, but now with the Starfall, Admiral Bulldog falling, not dead yet. Lets the Wrath of Nature go. That'll help the top lane, where you currently have the Chrono Mushi picked up and thrown back down again by the Rubik. And Chrono stolen, actually holding Witch Doctor and Ohio back on the tier 1 tower, allowing him to kill off now the Witch Doctor. Timber took a fall. S4 hit by the arrow of DJ. Loda has to pop out of him. A little bit of infest damage, but Mushi stands his ground, looking for the time lock. Will actually take off a little bit of the damage thanks to that time walk of his. And Alliance need to back out of here. DJ with the Starfall doesn't get the extra star onto Loda. Down to 20 HP. Arcade will turn with the damage. And he had enough mana for 1 impetus. Then the stick charge back up again. But that was enough to dissuade again DJ from chasing Alliance.
I really like that play from Fnatic where they went for the weakest target, the Nature's Prophet, who's not quite with his team. Alliance tried to get a little bit greedy and squeeze a little bit more farm out of Admiral Bulldog before they pushed that T1, but they got punished for it. And now I think Ohio has more than recovered from his early 2 deaths.
Ohio's back where he wants to be. Maybe not all the way where he wants to be. Wants to have that Blink Dagger up, but being only 200 net worth behind Admiral Bulldog.
They still have Chronosphere on Rubik. Stole it last fight, used it on 2 heroes, like you called out, but they can set up for another kill with it in 1 minute's time. I guess they don't have the best hero. Enchantress can kill people in there.
Yeah. That's probably the best combo for him.
Stealing Time Dilation is also really good too, if he can manage to get his hands on that.
This is EGM's Rubik. We've learned something. He can get his hands on anything. Mushi, that was an aggressive jump forward. He's going to lose his life here. He came down just for the room, but he time walked himself in. It might be level 4 with a 6-second cooldown, but Alliance, they only needed 5 seconds for that.
Wow. Yeah, that was aggressive. Maybe cutting down the trees so that he can get a little bit more vision of those 2 heroes, but maybe thinking that Alliance is not going to play aggressively, but they built all aggressive early items, like no Midas on Bulldog. He's going for drums first. We see the phase onto the Enchantress. So you know that Alliance are just looking to fight, not farm.
And with that tier 1 tower dropping on the top lane in favor of Loda, that armlet's coming out quicker. So Alliance's team fight getting better. Now Bulldog comes to the mid lane.
They're missing a Blight Stone on Alliance. I think it really helps for the tower.
Chrono up from the Rubik. It's got the Batrider. They drop double sentries here. There's no way to hide in the Moonlight Shadow. A little bit of waste of money with the sentries, but they take the kill and the tier 1 tower. And they didn't even need to bring Loda. Loda is still on that top lane farming up. Maybe not the greatest thing when Faceless Void is staring him down, but he's got no friends around to help find the kill.
This is just a lineup that Alliance loves to run. When you can kind of take away a lot of your mental power from execution on the hero, because you play the hero hundreds and hundreds of times, you can make much better plays around the map, farm a lot more efficiently, and you also like know when and where your teammates are going to be.
Maybe this is also the other reason why the tier 1 towers are dropping. It's the standard play. Give Bulldog the space to be Prophet.
And now Pluck closing in on his Blink Dagger. Combine that with Lifestealer and Nature's Prophet. No one's safe on the map.
That's really good team fight, really good jump. Also got to give Mushi something to think about. Like, he's going to go for this early Vlad's build, but he may have to consider going in for a Manta to break free of the silence.
Yeah, I think a more common choice is Diffusal, because it's a bit cheaper and it offers still pretty good damage inside the Chronosphere. And you can help your teammates out just in case. And then you can just time walk out of the Dream Coil.
Both teams getting some free hits on the safe lane tier 1s. It's like Loda's moving just a little bit quicker on it, and with the help of Admiral Bulldog.
Yeah, I actually really don't think Vlad's is the build here.
It could just be a reaction to the fact that Alliance want to try and team fight.
But there's not really any heroes that make use of the lifesteal.
He's going to love this. He's still got Time Walk stolen, so he repairs all the damage. S4 turns, looking for the Dream Coil. He'd prefer to get both of them, but he'll set up for just a Timber Saw. Bulldog will TP himself in too. And they had a Loda just waiting, sitting inside. 343 starts his TP. There's no extra stun to stop that. In fact, now they TP the top lane. Mushi, does he go make a break for the tree line? TP scrolls available. Yeah, he does. He jumps over. And again, no stuns available. So TP are successful. As 2 tier 1 towers also taken, 1 for each side.
Rubik's almost as far as the Timber Saw. He's just a couple hundred net worth, and EGM almost has Blink Dagger.
It's an EGM Rubik. There's a reason why this hero a couple of years ago was taken off the mid lane and put into a support role. And EGM was one of the catalysts for that.
Yeah, some teams also like first ban it versus Alliance.
EGM, that's a fresh ops. Now they try and Sentry Mushi. Time walks in, more of a zoning style, but it's actually Arcase, but only Ogre Frostmage that does the rest of the de-warding. So at least they get rid of the ops.
Fnatic can't feel safe farming anywhere though. Like all these heroes can just easily die to the Infest Bomb from Puck or even an Infest Bomb from the Nature's Prophet. So Batrider with the Blink Dagger, maybe they can put some moves onto Alliance. They need to get a kill. Bulldog is probably the easiest target for them to kill.
Especially when he's not going for that Blink Dagger style.
Yeah.
Like, but he is still fairly tanky.
He's also farming in a safe place. He's off the map. He's in the jungle. And they know when to show the heroes that are very unlikely to die. Like Loda's out in front. He's kind of hovering around that mid lane. Puck's also a pretty decent target to show in the lane.
They know. Like, Fnatic know that Alliance are coming over, but they just smoke underneath the Dire Observer Ward to jump forward. They kill off the Timbersaw before the fight begins. S4 goes in, a three-man coil! Holy Fnatic in position! The Paralysis Gas goes to get shit, and now the Corner! A three-man for that one too! Mushi, the Sprout, it keeps him far enough away! EGM can time walk off the damage! DJ makes a break for the trees, but Alliance, they haven't lost a single iota! Finally, the Puck will pop! It's the Maledict that does the work.
Wow, they looked prepared for it, but they didn't have Mushi there. Mushi needs to be the one to stop them with the Chronosphere. And without the Witch Doctor alive, they just did not have enough damage. That was a great Chronosphere. So they jump on to Timbersaw. He's blowing up. Where's Mushi?
Still not there. TP is in, only just arrives.
But
the
everyone's
Chrono is great, but everything's done.
They've got caught by the Chronosphere, or by the Dream Coil. Admiral Bulldog's already on the top. He casted his ultimate, and the two heroes in the back just already died. And the fight's lost from there once you just lose mid one without getting anything really in return.
Man, I want to give even more props to Bulldog for that Sprout. Actually in the middle of a Chronosphere, keeping the Faceless Void between like his prey, or getting in between his prey. And EGM is such a nuisance. Now they go for the bottom lane again. There's TP support just in the neighborhood. S4's here. And you have that Blink Dagger on EGM now. He has a stolen Starfall.
And now they don't even need a gank anymore. They have...
They know. Blink, pick him up. EGM, throw him back in again. They knew the Timber Chain was coming. RK wasn't close enough for the stun, but still it flew. Now the Dream Call mid one. It is just looking too easy for Alliance. But it's good vision. Fnatic looked for it with the Sentry Wall, but they missed the obs.
They can easily do Roche now. Level 3 untouchable on the Enchantress, Blightstone, and Echo up on the Lifestealer. This is going to be a super easy Roche. And Fnatic can find a few minutes to farm, but when it comes team fight, how are they actually going to protect someone from dying instantly to the Lifestealer? Where are their force stabs?
They don't have anything. Like, come on, Witch Doctor's just streaming. He could have like arcanes or some other normal item apart from a wand. Probably just happy he hit level 6.
They need more picks with the Batrider. They can also use Moonlight Shadow.
Well, there's an opportunity, but EGM right in the neighborhood, and Ohio will drop. EGM gets the last hit.
Man, too predictable for them. That's like the only thing they've really been doing is trying to get kills with the Batrider. They also have Chronosphere plus Witch Doctor ulti available to them, but Mushi's been far more concerned farming his secondary item after the Vlads. Or even like Void with Mirana, I think would be a pretty good combination for them.
Once DJ does have that Ags, then maybe you have the damage, but still requires the Mirana to be in a good spot.
Yeah, she's getting there. Pretty close.
That could be worse.
Now you have Nature's Prophet almost with an Orchid. So Timber, they're going to have a really rough time. You want your Yules by the time that the Orchid comes out. But he's not even going to have Bloodstone. He bought his cloak because he was about to die.
One starts the TP, Suns are too far away. And no Bastro on Loda yet. So a very easy TP out. Diffusal Blade is done for Mushi, who now actually gets silenced. Decides to hold on to his Diffusal Charge. It's just S4. I don't know if he's actually trying to bait out of the Diffusal Charge, in fact.
He has to be careful. They can actually turn around with Chrono. Is Puck actually going for an Orchid as well? We don't see that very often.
More silences.
Yeah, it's great versus Faceless Void, although he does have Diffusal.
Yeah.
2 Orchid.
But he's going to burn the charges so quickly. That's why I thought like S4 was baiting out a charge on him just then. It's like, well, you expect the rest of Alliance to be right behind S4. So Ags gets done now for the Mirana. Took 19 minutes on the support. Not a bad timing, but it's EGM in the mid lane. They're looking towards Mushi. EGM jumps in, picks up Mushi. They're still into the tower. Can he time walk? He gets the Chronosphere off. Mushi now time walks off a little bit of the damage, but he's more importantly TPing away. But Ohio, he can't do it. 3-4-3. The Death Ward goes to work. EGM was looking for the steal. Couldn't find it. 3-4-3. The damage will be enough. It's a 1-for-1 trade-off. Not the cleanest fight for Alliance, but Fnatic finally getting something. Their 4th kill in the game.
S4 tried to go for the +1, blinking in the back line and coiling people so they could pick them off as Faceless Void retreated from battle. But Fnatic, they weren't really concerned with saving Mushi, and all 4 of them were there trying to kill the Puck. It's been a struggle to try and find good builds for the Puck. A lot of the Puck's build Veil very early on. Not that great with their lineup.
Unless you go like Veil Dagon to go against the Timber.
Yeah, maybe if you had a Mirana, but Veil Dagon requires a lot of farm, and it's still, I would think, falls off a little bit. So maybe he's just looking for another way to scale into the late game. I think like getting a Bloodthorn probably would be pretty good. Right click, very, very hard.
That's an award from Arcade, but it was easily scouted out thanks to the Observer and Sentry on the hillside. As Arcade, oh man, even denying his own Observer one. Fnatic can't catch a break. And the push comes again from Alliance to the tier 2 tower. The second remaining out of town for Fnatic. And that's a big army for Fnatic to try and clean up. Chakram won't do that much.
All of Fnatic's heroes just feel fairly useless. So, like in terms of their team fight prowess, like most of the abilities have just been used to save people.
Top, Bulldog, he's got an infested loader inside, and then they just attack it at TJ. The Orchid goes to work. You look for a good carrier. The Puck was the first one for the live steal, and now it's actually Puck who's in trouble. Lassoed up, Mushi looking for the time locks. S4, phase shift. Can he get himself out of this one? There's no orb. He can't blink away in time. And that is going to be Puck down for a long time, and a good bit of money in for Void.
Yeah, Puck's actually died 4 of the 5 times that Alliance have perished this game. And I don't know. I don't know if Oblivion Staff was a build. Maybe it's going to work out for him later on, but
instead of getting something like a Eul Scepter to make it a lot more difficult to kill him.
Eul's is way more common versus the Faceless Void. You need to get rid of that time dilation. If you can't phase shift the second time, like the hero just dies because he doesn't have that much armor, very little HP. You completely rely on your spells and your items to get you out of trouble.
Well, as you can see in the Goldcraft, there's still a lot of money going the way of Alliance, so maybe he can still afford up the Eul Scepter. I don't know if you want to leave a casual Oblivion staff on the Puck, though.
You could technically turn into Echo Saber, I guess. It's not like you're investing any gold in the recipe, so you still get the mana regen, the int, the attack speed, and the strength, more importantly. But yeah, I don't think that's what you do. But you know, if you don't want to build an Orchid and realize the error of your ways,
you can always just sell this Null Talisman, get the Eul Scepter, and then get the Orchid later.
Yeah. Do you still want an Orchid though?
Oh, when you got a Timbersaw on the field that's not going to build a BKB? Yeah. It would make sense.
He'll probably look to, I don't know, maybe Lotus?
Timber, Dream Coil, S4, cancelling mid one's TP. Supports on the way from both Fnatic and Alliance. It's Nature's Prophet who comes forward with the Moonlight Shadow, the Blink Lasso. They focus on Prophet, Bulldog. The arrow will connect as well from TJ. And this is Alliance. Losing players they don't really need to lose. S4 locked in the tree line, still no TP scroll available. He'll have to walk it out. Phase shift, orb up in 1 second time. DJ waits for the moment. And well, Batrider Firefly will take the moment from him.
Oof, and that's rough. He's fighting just before level 14. And level 14 is actually a really important level on Puck because you need that level 4 phase shift so you can phase and then blink. He only had 2.25 seconds left.
GM?
Phase shift.
Mid one doesn't have a TP scroll. He has to stay here. EGM, he knows something is wrong and they're going to find him in the tree line. And that is now the 5th kill for Loda. So while Puck has been dying, Bulldog, couple of casualties as well. In fact, just between all of like Fnatic's kills, it's only on Bulldog and S4. Loda is having a terrific time.
But you can see the gold grab starting to swing up. One of the worries as you play with a Puck on your team Is he going to fall off 20 plus and even more worrisome if they get BKB?
Chrono, they find Loda. Loda, he needs time. This Chrono needs to end for him, and he can't do it. Loda will drop. That's a huge kill for the Batrider to take S4 with a Dream Call. They hold Ohio, not Mushi, however. He'll just time walk himself out. But it's going to be Ohio picked up by EGM. With a stolen time walk, he can track down the Batrider.
Rubik's making so many plays in this game. EGM, what a beast. Maybe he can carry.
Hey, he's building Aghanims. Yeah. This is an Aghanims EGM rush off the Blink Dagger.
Imagine if he steals Death Ward with a Dream Coil.
And if he steals Death Ward, though, that's kind of on 3-4-3.
I mean, he's just sitting there channeling.
But then again, actually,
you don't want to. You can talk with a Voodoo Restoration.
He hasn't skilled it. Yeah. There's not a single point in it, so technically at the moment he can.
A lot of times you're just like not. You're more worried about your placement. You don't want to get caught in a Chronosphere. You want to be like close enough so you can follow up. So it's something that's easily can slip out of your mind, especially because Rubik's not a super common support pick nowadays. Mushi closing in on his core, the Yasha, Manta, so many ways out of
the hit to kill EGM.
Okay, what is S4 going to go for? He's back in base right now. Is he going to spend his 2,000 gold? He could kind of complete his Orchid, or he could sell his Null and almost get his Yules. And I'm not sure what his mindset is here, or what he wants to do. I think he's dying a lot, so I think he needs a defensive item.
You'll find out sooner or later, man. That was a weird move from Fnatic. They Moonlight Shadowed while Witch Doctor was dewarding an Observer Ward of Alliance. So Alliance had perfect vision of what was going on. They know Moonlight Shadow was down, and they infest Lifestealer into the puck. EGM is the front runner.
Mid one doesn't really have an escape plan. Ohio does. It looks like he was trying to set up for a smoke, and
they find Mushi. Observer was down. They jump. They pick him. They control him. Perfect movement from Alliance, and now they're 60 seconds without a Faceless Void.
Yeah, he thought his Manta illusions would keep him safe, but you know, if you send him as 2, they definitely know that they're illusions. Yep. And he also was way too close to the tree line on that right side.
Advantage for Fnatic is the creep waves are all pushed out. So even if Alliance did want to take down that tier 2 tower with this 1 minute downtime of the Void, they're just not capable of doing so. Even their bottom lane is being pressured. Bulldog has a couple of trees down there, but he's not committing himself.
Ooh, DJ actually has a gem. He thinks that this is their time to get back into the game, maybe stop that second Roche coming out from them.
Maybe they're also just worried about all this vision of Alliance, seeing where they're maneuvering.
Yeah, but he can easily die. Like in a fast combo from Puck, like there's no way out for the Puck or for the Mirana at that point.
Doesn't seem like there's any way out for anyone apart from maybe a Timber or a Time Walk, that's it. And here they come, Void's up in 4 seconds time to jump in. They find Arcade dragging him up on top of the hill. Is there any save? No, there is not. In fact, now as the Infest pop out, mid one's low. Mushi looking for a Chrono target. The only one he's going to find is the Puck, who then actually has an Infest rune. S4's taking a little bit too much damage from the Maledict, so he's going to pop from that with a phase shift timing. He'll survive through it. Loda, will it be enough with a Chrono? They hold him in position. They actually do. It is still enough from the Maledict to kill off the Puck. Lifestealer drops 2, and they're all on the run. EGM, Bulldog, Diffuser Blade slows him down, but he already has a Hurricane Pike freshly delivered to give him that movement away, but the Flame Break is down. Another Diffusal charge, slowing him up, and Bulldog will die. Fnatic getting big back-to-back kills against Alliance. And this will repair all of the negative XP they were behind in, and may even bring the gold down to being practically level.
Yeah, and most of Fnatic's heroes have bought items before they've died. Like first Timber with like his cloak, now his Bloodstone complete. I saw Mirana buy Ghost Scepter before she died. Faceless Void had a Manta style before he got picked off on top. And looks like Puck has completed his Orchid, so he went for it.
Yep. Still seems like a huge danger zone for Alliance. They had such a good start, almost 10,000 advantage in the gold, and they were getting kills left, right, and center. Fnatic couldn't find anything. The Lifestealer had free reign. But now Fnatic they're getting really good chain kills.
I think they kind of were in the mindset that, okay, well, they're not going to really play aggressively on us. We've counter-ganked a couple of times, like they countered the Batrider on the top lane. They dealt with multiple Void Chronospheres, and they felt comfortable enough to farm because that's what Alliance like to do. But Fnatic, they were not stopping. They weren't scared of the Infest Bombs. Looks like Alliance may be able to secure themselves a Roche. Fnatic nowhere close to the pit.
Yeah, they're too far away.
Down. Yeah, there's There's no way for them.
Yeah, the damage from Alliance is also quick enough. They'll get through Roshan.
So a lot of times they actually give it to Bulldog, but maybe they give it to Loda this time.
Yeah, protecting Loda seems to make a little bit more sense. That allows him to safely farm up and maybe even purchase his full assault Cuirass, which looks to be his next target.
Yeah, then he can actually go in and bait the Chronosphere. That fight, he actually had to back off very early on because he was scared of being in that bubble.
Oh, S4, he just blinked forward, just used his orb as well. It's a smoke maneuver from Fnatic, but it's kind of a weird one. They ran 1 down mid, they pushed 2 to north and 2 to south.
Oh, this is
It's now
pretty interesting. If they show someone on top, then they're going to all think they're near bottom. But Alliance actually returned with a smoke of their own.
Yeah, and they pinged out exactly where mid 1 was moving. They're actually pinging to say towards the mid lane, but if they follow down inside the jungle, S4 is going to get an easy pick on mid 1. He's got 15 Bloodstone charges. Denial is possible. Oh, they break the Tipper chain. No Bloodstone charges. Well, he loses 5 of them, but no Bloodstone denial.
Ohio and Mirana springing a trap on top lane. Will Bulldog or anyone else TP up there?
Oh, Bulldog just TP'd himself to the mid lane. They're coming for Arax. You got the range on the Prophet. You got a Live Stealer who's just itching to be into a building. Oh, okay, maybe the puck will come up, but DJ revealed himself.
It's a trap, though. I think.
Oh, the jump. Ohio, secondary TP's on the way. The last 2 on S4. Can he survive? The Orca was on DJ. Bulldog is on his way in. Now the Orca's on Ohio. Ohio still has that advantage of flying. Oh, DJ hides in the tree line. Another phase shift from S4. Wants to orb up. It's going to be too far away. He'll join in, then blink forward. But it's EGM who finds the kill with the Starstorm. And with that arrow flying from Mirana, you actually reveal your position. The DJ leaps up and then TP's away to safety.
Nice silence from Puck. They weren't able to get like all the bursts down during the lasso. Ideally, like the Puck just farms the lane and doesn't actually jump, so you can get the lasso on him before he casts anything. But it seemed like Puck was expecting it.
Here comes Alliance. No Batrider for 30 seconds. Buyback isn't available, so they can chip away at the base. Timber is also on bottom lane trying to push this out, but in the meantime, Alliance now arrived on the top. Timber needs to be here for the Chakram. Slows down the push, but doesn't really stop Loda. He just rages through it, the paralyzing cast, waits. Oh, the arrow! It hit S4. That's a good 5 seconds. You do still have the Live Stealer inside of him, and S4, he'll drop quickly. Mushi, Chronosphere, EGM, and Arcade caught the back lines. The Chakram as well is ripping through Arcade bit by bit, but they need more damage. The Malding will help with that one. EGM trying to juke at everything he's got, but he already used the leap. 2 heroes lost from Alliance, and Ohio wants more. Flame breaks available. There's no Arcade seeping. He stops Bulldog, and they will hold him with the lasso. Fnatic defend against Alliance, very aggressively pushing in to that tier 3 tower, and they pay the price.
Not S4's best game. That was one of the worst times to get hit by an arrow.
Loda is walking very close to the Fnatic lineup. But Fnatic, easy push to tier 2. Another bad fight for Alliance.
Mushi, I think, had a really patient Chronosphere. He got the Rubik so that he can't just steal it and then Chrono his entire team. A little bit slow with killing him, but still with the right idea.
It's still the perfect start as well. We get to have a quick look at it. There's that arrow on the S4. The Death Ward from very, like, the best safety point for 3-4-3. And Loda had to tank through all of it. Once you mop up the back lines, you're pretty good. We come back live as the Infest pop back out again as Mushi as well as mid 1 on the run. DJ is low. This is Alliance. They need to take this fight for the time loss from Mushi, holding Loda in position. You can time walk down again into the safety of Moonlight Shadow. Prophet TPing forward. Where's that vision? The Sentry Ward's down. The Sprout holds Timbersaw. The arrow will fly through. Doesn't find his targets. The BKB Batrider on the front lines can't get the lasso off. He doesn't actually have a real target to go for. And does S4 want to jump any further? He knows the BKBs are down, but where is your target? The ping came out. They saw 3-4-3 in the tree line just to the right. That's where Live Stealer will go. The arrow comes in. Again, it goes away from the Alliance heroes. Unable to connect, and now that's Witch Doctor down for a little bit.
Looked like they were about to retreat, but Timbersaw canceled his TP, realizing that perhaps Chronosphere could have swung that fight for Fnatic. However, he didn't really have enough mana to Manta and Time Walk and use Time Dilation and Chronosphere. That's why I kind of like the Echo Saber build from Faceless Void. It gives a little bit more mana regen than the Vlad's, and you can farm and fight, especially if you're a position 1 Void. Mushi's been playing pretty well.
As long as he gets the Chronos, it seems the rest of his team can do the work. And with an E-Blade up on DJ, more burst damage potential from Fnatic. Doesn't have the Blink Dagger up at the moment, but Batrider, Fireflying, looking for an opening. The Treant from Bulldog is so close, and the arrow will actually tank on the Treant. And this gives just a warning to S4. He'll back up a little bit from the top lane. And EGM is now doing the split push from bottom. He's got Time Walk available with Blink Dagger and a TP. They actually scan to see if anyone from Fnatic is coming out, and they are not.
He actually has Ags this time. Last time I think he had Ags, but wasn't able to steal anything aside from the leap for Mirana. But yeah, a lot of great spells to steal. Do you get the passive Starfall if you steal Starstorm? I don't know.
That's a very good question. Technically, you think it should work. EGM. Oh, Batrider. It was the same time as EGM went for the telekinesis. He wants to time walk off the damage. Able to do so. BKB triggered from Ohio. They really want to kill off EGM, but it was Witch Doctor on the backline that got the kill. Now Mushi jumps forward, got an instant time lock on Bulldog and the Chrono. It got lower on Bulldog. S4 Dream Call trying to cause a couple of problems. Ohio is dropping down low while EGM almost soloing up DJ, and he'll blink up and find that kill. There's the rest of the damage being done by Mushi. He'll find that kill on Loda, the big hero of Alliance. The top net worth, but it's still a 3-for-2 trade-off. No Witch Doctor early on. Well, we're still able to get that kill on Batrider. And the plays from EGM, the man being initiated on, able to track down the Mirana.
I think you're okay with that, you're a Fnatic. He got the 2 big cores, the Lifestealer and the Nature's Prophet inside of that Chronosphere. And as long as they die, your Timbersaw didn't die, it's still a little close, I guess. Losing Mirana is a pretty big deal considering she has Ethereal Blade at this point. What on earth?
Yep, it's the money, man. E-Blade, that's the pop I was talking about. And the damage, which is still there as well for Alliance, it's going to start to increase. Arcade, now 50 gold away from having his Aghanim Scepter, combining with the Dragon Lance.
And now they have a Lotus Orb on Timbersaw, so they have so many ways to get out of the silence on to Fnatic, especially if Faceless Void replenishes his charges.
Timber's going to find him in Viz Rune. They just walk over. The Faceless Void's in the neighborhood. Sentry Ward Arcade. He thought something was awry. He popped the Sentry Ward down. Now Bulldog TP's in. Do they have a control? No, they don't. And they know that Mushi's around. There's no Chronosphere available. But there are 8 fresh Diffusal charges on that Faceless Void. And he's now got the level 2 Diffusal Blade.
Another position 4 scaling well as we see Ake complete the core items, Dragon Lance and Ags. Not too many great targets, though. Timbersaw normally like either really close or too far. Faceless Void can time walk most of the damage, and he has Manta. Might be very difficult for a single target hero like Enchantress to dish out the damage.
Nice blink, Lasso, S4 pulling back. There's help, Lotus on the way, the phase shift is there. Admiral pulled over the Chrono. That guarantees the kill on S4 as he comes out of his phase shift. The arrow won't be able to connect. The Death Ward, however, ripping through Loda. He'll infest into that one little Radiant Creep, pop back out again, but it doesn't get him far enough away. 2 heroes down for Alliance, both without buyback. Fnatic have an opportunity here. They can push through the bottom lane and do some damage to the base.
Man, what another great Chronosphere coming out from Mushi. Did not hesitate at all. S4 is really important to them at this point, and catching Lifestealer, especially during a rage, so important.
Mushi time walks forward, EGM's.
Okay, he has Starstorm, so
yeah.
You can actually see if...
Yeah, I think he actually tried to do it then, like he ran forward. Now Arcade, a big hit. This could be it for Fnatic. Hitting that pop, the E-Blade. Helps to get the kill for Timbersaw. But with another hero down, Arcade down for a minute, it may not just be 1 lane of Rax. We may be looking at 2 lanes of Rax, and now they find Bulldog, the Blink Lasso from Ohio. Admiral Bulldog shredded up, and he'll pop to the Maledicts. Nothing was going to stop that. Alliance losing too many heroes, and the former TI winners are staring down the barrel of a 2-0 elimination by Fnatic.
Puck has his next item. It will be a BKB to complement the Orchid. But at this point, it's too little too late as Fnatic look to claim another lane.
There's your smoke. What are you going to do with this?
They need to fight
Photo
before the
run
Chrono's
in.
up.
Rubik gets a pick up, try and drag mid one back. The jump in, Mushi time walks off all the damage that Alliance did. The Dream Coil doesn't control him, and with the Lotus Orb on Mushi, he's so safe. Bulldog also sprouted up, and the arrow connects to the Chrono! All the remaining players, Alliance, how do you get yourself out of this one? You get all over, and EGM will time walk off the damage, but Mushi time walks straight back with him. There's your starfall damage. Alliance back to Fountain, but no place is safe on this map. Fnatic, they own your home. And Alliance, 2 lanes of Brax down. The only thing that protects them is that tier 2 tower on top lane. But at this point, Fnatic can push for GG. Everyone's dead. No buybacks available.
This tournament has been a sad state of affairs for those a fan of the European teams, as another one looks to bite the dust.
Alliance, you hope for it. Even okay, I like the Deso pickup on 343. Just the glory, a little bit of extra negative armor to bring down these buildings, but there it is. GG, well played. Fnatic have done it. They will start off our day with a 2-0 victory over Alliance, eliminating them from the International 2016.
Wow, Mushi was so clutch in the later half of the game with his Chronospheres, just and that unlucky arrow catch as Alliance were in a position of power, trying to push that high ground.
It looked like such a good start though for Alliance. Like you get that first blood, you shut down the Batrider, but then space just seemed to be created. The pressure didn't really come. A couple of T1 towers went down, but the Batrider found his items, he found his timing, and he found his progression.
Handshakes coming out, good sportsmanship all around.
Yeah, these guys, like everyone from these teams have been in the scene for such a long time. But Alliance, this isn't their year. Fnatic, they keep the run going, and we hold in multiple